Welcome to Aquarium911, where I help you with your aquarium problems. Today we have an email from William regarding fish disease, and it's a little short, so this could be a bit of a struggle, and you'll understand in just a second, but hopefully I can help you out, William. So let's first get into the email itself and get an understanding of what's going on. Hello, I know this isn't plant-related help, but I could still use your help if it's not too late. This was back in August. I'm currently treating 2 fish in my hospital tank, an electric blue acara and a red-headed geophagus, 2 really awesome fish, with Paracleanse and Maricin. Right after doing 100% water, I'm assuming water treating? Is that like dosing for 100% of the water or water change? This is where I'm really confused. I'm assuming it's dosing the water appropriately, based on what I've read later. Treating goldfish in there with methylene blue. So, is it you had other fish, then you moved them out of your hospital tank and added the goldfish, or the goldfish came in? This is where I'm a little confused. And this is no offense to you, William. Like, it can be easy when you're panicking to just, like, rattle out something really, really fast. My corgi came to say hi. You almost never come in here. What you doing? Okay, let me get back to this, bud. The acara and geophagus have been in there for 2 days now. Okay, so they're in there together. We've got that part. Read, Bentley. Just read. And the water is now milky white with a tint of blue leached out from the silicone. Should I do a water change and add more packages of treatment, or just continue until the 5-6 day treatment is done? Thanks. Really looking forward to your reply. Never had water turn milky on me, especially more stressful because these guys are getting treatment. So, water turning milky is interesting, and my first concern is that it's potentially a reaction between the other 2 medications and methylene blue at the same time. In theory, this is basically the same as the old Aquarium co-op trio, so it shouldn't have a negative interaction. And things leaching out of your silicone would really worry me. As a heads up, for me, I use an acrylic tank as my hospital tank. I just have an old, 20-something gallon. It's one of the old, blue-backed. They used to be really popular in a lot of aquarium shops. I think it's made by Sea Clear or something like that. But there's a number of companies that make basically the exact same tank. It's just a square. I think it's 20 gallons almost exactly. It's just not quite as tall. It's a little shorter. And I like that for a reason. There's no risk of something like Prasapro, methylene blue, or any of those, colored different medications that are liquids causing any staining or having any weird interactions with the silicone. My first concern is that potentially there was something where the silicone had something else in it, wasn't fully cured. I'm not really sure some of the background here, so that makes it a little tough. I'm assuming it's a relatively new-ish tank or completely clean tank. You set it up as a hospital tank, and now we're seeing this problem. There's a lot of assumptions. The other thing I don't know is, why are you treating these fish? What's wrong with them? Is it just because they're new? What kind of symptoms have they been exhibiting? Why did we add the goldfish later when we're already dealing with maybe one illness? These are things that I would generally advise if any of you are having fish problems and you're trying to reach out to someone to help you. The more information, the better. So nailing down hey, I've noticed this and this in my geophagus and my blue acara, or maybe I've noticed this in my blue acara and this in my geophagus. Or maybe it's I just got them and I want to pre-treat them as my quarantine before they go in with the rest of my fish. Whatever that scenario is, make sure you're including that to whomever's helping you out, because it really does help. Anytime I have to ask a lot of questions, it means it's less likely for me to give you an answer as to what my course of action would be. Regardless, my corgi is very curious and searching around the fish room. We haven't seen him in a while. Hi! We haven't seen this boy in a while. He has not let me pick him up in front of a camera in a ton of time.
Yeah. You like to be shy around cameras, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, so let's try to answer your problem. With a corgi, corgis know everything. They'll fix the problem. So my first thing would be, if you're seeing some kind of weird water interaction, water change. And I would not do 100%. That's a little dangerous. But you might do a 50% now. Let that water kind of relax for maybe half an hour or so, and do another. Or maybe you're going to do kind of 50%, drain some out, put some in. Drain some out, put some in. Because that interaction makes me really concerned that something damaging could potentially happen to the fish. I know it's been a while, and hopefully you took a course of action. You'll follow up with me, and we'll talk, and hopefully things went well, or I hope nothing went wrong. We'll put it that way. Good point. Do you want down? Do you want down? Do you want down?
He's so cute, isn't he? Look at him. Look at this handsome boy. Yeah, look at that big smile. Okay, ready?
Let's go.
There you go, buddy.
Okay, I'll try. Comes right back. Okay. So, in this case, if you see any kind of interaction where your water changes in a way you're not expecting, just paranoid water change. That would be my general advice, kind of no matter what. And I would actually take a day off from medication and try to let things stabilize, or maybe change the medications we're using. If we're using methylene blue for a specific reason, maybe we do only the methylene blue. If we have a larger concern that is more bacterial or parasitic related, we dose only that medication. While I understand that a lot of these medications can be dosed together, if we're seeing this type of interaction, we need to pull back and do one at a time. And we need to pick the one that is the most likely or the most necessary. So if we're not seeing anything, and we're just doing this as a precautionary, water change, dilute, 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 get whatever you have to do. Don't just like try to drain every gallon out of it and refill it from the blank. Like go 50%, fill it back up, give it a little bit to get some air and things in it. 50%, fill it back up. You might wait like 20 minutes, half an hour between each, because that fresh water coming in will be naturally aerated. But you want to make sure that you're not like, you're keeping the temperature relatively stable. And we need to dilute a lot of that medication out for the purposes of just being absolutely safe. From there, if and only if you know there is some kind of issue that necessitates a medication, then we would dose the proper medication. So if we're seeing like really thin bellies and we're a little worried about a parasite, we're going to dose the anti-parasitic medication. If we are seeing something that we think is bacterial related, then we are going to dose only the antibacterial medication. If we're dealing something that we think might be kind of fungal, then we would look at something like the methylene blue. We are not going to combine medications anymore. We have seen an issue, we need to not repeat that problem. And I only try to be this like stern about it because, like me, I'm assuming you care very deeply about your fish, you're kind of a big softy like me, and you're willing to spend way more money on medication than that fish would cost you to buy a different one, or a replacement one, big quotation marks, at your local fish store. I'm like that. I will spend $100 on medication on a $2 fish. I shouldn't. It doesn't make any economical sense, but I'm a big freaking softy, and when I have animals in my care, I care very deeply for them, and I do everything I can to give them the longest possible life. So yeah, that hurts sometimes. But anyway, we want to make sure that we're not basically going like, okay, maybe it was a one-off, we'll try again, and then all of a sudden the water goes milky again, and we're like, we didn't learn our lesson, right? We don't want to risk causing the same problem to occur again, because then we have a higher likelihood of that causing damage to our fish. And that is the last thing we want to do if a fish is already sick, is cause additional damage, right? It would be like, my best friend's not feeling very good. I know a good way to fix it. I'm going to go kick him in the knee a few times. Like, right? We don't want to hurt them on top of them already dealing with something, because that adds further stress to their system. Their immune response goes down, and the likelihood of them succumbing to the disease increases dramatically. So, I would, in this case, water change several times until we get basically as much of that medication out. If you have a little pack of activated carbon, put it in your filter. That will help suck up the last bits of the medication and neutralize it. And then, from there, I'm going to leave that water alone for at least 3 days. Unless I have some dire thing, like I see hole in the head and I know I need to treat that. Or I see a major like thinning in the tummy and I need to treat that soon so that this fish can eat and not die. And then I'm like, okay, I need an antiparasitic after I do these big water changes. And probably maybe like half a day, of running with activated carbon just to get all the other stuff out, so I don't have any other kind of negative interaction. That would be my advice to you, William. For the rest of you who are watching here, I would love to hear your experience down in the comments below. Have you ever had this interaction where you've dosed a couple of medications and all of a sudden your water turns kind of milky-ish and not the way you would expect? What was your process? Tell me in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, if you've learned something, give it a like, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Like, comment, subscribe. Those 3 things are literally the best possible things, and they're completely free to tell old Papa YouTube, hey, I like what this person is doing, and someone else will too. It helps our channels grow. It prevents us from taking really stupid sponsorships, like trying to sell you a mattress or dumb cereal or that stupid video game Raid Shadow Legends on an aquarium channel. If you need my help, if you need your own Aquarium 911, there is a link in the description below to the video, Let Me Help You. This will give you all the details of how to contact me and the information I need to give you the best possible solution to your problem based on my experience. But please, 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 watch that video, take down a few notes of the information that you need to supply, because that helps me give you a better answer and a more robust battle plan instead of having to make a lot of guesses. The better the information, the easier it is for me to give you really targeted advice and hopefully put you on the path to long-term success. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.